Can't you see? Everyone! They're here already! You're next!
Let's go!
Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born!
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
So, I'm kind of behind on this one, but Funkhouser, have you seen this Pepsi commercial that everybody's so mad about?
You know, I just
Pepsi
saw the
actually
press about it, so no.
Pepsi apologized for the advertisement, but it's one of those things where, you know, it's at the front page of everybody's news feed, and it's one of those things where people have been tweeting me being like, what do you think of this? I haven't heard you weigh in on this yet. And like, I never, and this is my policy, I don't weigh in on anything until I've got some facts, until I've seen or experienced for myself. And I haven't seen this Pepsi commercial like that everyone's so mad about, and Pepsi has actually apologized for. Apparently, it trivializes the Black Lives Matter movement is the big complaint. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Kendall Jenner for Pepsi. It's the Kardashian kid, Kendall Jenner. Let's just watch this together. It's like 2 minutes long. I'll narrate. If you haven't seen this, I'll let you know. So here we go. You ready, Funkhouser?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, you hear this?
I don't.
What about now?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right, so protesters walking through a street, guy playing a cello and sweating. Woman in a burqa looking at pictures that I believe she has taken, drinking a Pepsi. Oh, there's the Jenner kid. Fancy photo shoot in a hotel as protesters walk by. She is oblivious to the protest. Oh, wait, she sees the protesters. She sees there's something going on. Guy's still playing the cello. Although he stopped sweating, he must have toweled himself off now. Oh, he's drinking a Pepsi as well. He looks out his window. He lives in a nice place. That's a fancy balcony. Everybody's drinking Pepsi. People are marching. Oh, there's a woman in the burqa. She's angrily crumpling some of her photos. Oh, she's throwing her photos off the table in frustration and disgust.
Oh no!
She's walking out into the street. She's got her camera. Oh, she appears to be documenting the photographers. Oh, there's cello guy who is taking his cello with him on the protest march. And then there's he starts playing with a bunch of street musicians playing cello with him.
She's pretty.
Good thing they brought it.
Everyone has blue signs.
Everyone has blue signs.
Subliminal Pepsi advertising.
Yeah. Oh, Kendall Jenner is now really distracted from her photo shoot.
Where's the black Pepsi can?
Hold on. She sees handsome cello guy in the protest. Oh, takes her blonde wig off.
Look out.
Wipes off her makeup. Oh, she's in the protest now. Oh, she picks up a Pepsi. She's going through the crowd, smiling at cello guy. Fist bumping other protesters, walking up to a cop. What's she going to do? Oh, there's the woman in the burqa that was frustrated with her photographical efforts before, taking a picture of Kendall Jenner handing a Pepsi to a cop.
Oh.
And the cop is drinking the Pepsi, and the crowd goes wild. The protesters go, the boundary between police and protester has been broken down with Pepsi.
Yay. Pepsi matters.
And, hey, there's a cop going, hey, yeah, knowing glance and a smile. Looks like we've broken through to these people. We found common ground, and it is Pepsi. And now it says live bolder as people are watching. Live louder. Live for now.
The old famous pour.
That's so effing stupid that anyone is mad about this.
So that's a political thing now?
No, okay, so Pepsi apologized. They said apparently they borrowed imagery from the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't think that they borrowed anything. Those were all very non-specific signs. They didn't say Black Lives Matter. They didn't say... It's crass commercialization. Let me be crystal freaking clear on this one. This is crass commercialization of important issues for the sake of the almighty dollar. Let's not mince words on that. It's trying to bandwagon jump on this sense that we need equality and unity in this world, and saying that Pepsi stands for that. And you know how you can break down barriers through Pepsi. And like I said, crass commercialization. But like, I'm looking for, because they said they borrowed imagery from the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't see anything even vaguely connected to Black Lives Matter. They're actually, if Black Lives Matter want to be angry about some stuff, there were not very many black people represented in that video. It was multi-ethnic, to say the least. It was people from all over the world. It was cute, but it's not that big of a freaking deal. Pepsi said they were trying to project a global message of unity, peace, and understanding. Clearly, we missed the mark and apologize. Well, like I said, it's crass commercialization of a human rights issue, and that's always going to be an odious thing to do. But how is this specifically Black Lives Matter's problem? This is, all right, more on why this is freaking stupid next.
Real 101 Radio 104.1.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
So, like I said, this Kendall Jenner Pepsi commercial is crass commercialization of a very serious human rights issue. And in that respect, it is hideous in its very inception and nature. But in what way has the world of televised advertising ever been different from that? What do you mean? TV ads don't present the truth? No. Let's see. What's people's major malfunction with this? Commentators on social media accuse Pepsi of appropriating imagery from serious protests to sell its product while minimizing the danger protesters encounter and the frustration that they feel. I said, no one is finding joy from Pepsi at a protest. That's just not the reality of our lives. That's not what it looks like to take bold action. Oh, you mean people don't find... Really? You mean... a soda pop was portrayed in a different light in a TV ad than it is in real life? You ever see that Jerry Seinfeld sketch, the one where he says, you ever watching TV and you see a commercial for the same product that you're drinking? Like you're drinking that soda and then you see all these other people on TV and they're on the beach. They're in great shape. They're spiking volleyballs. They're having the time of their lives. Going, we have soda, everything is better because we have soda. And you look at the exact same soda that you're drinking and you're going, maybe I'm not doing it right. Oh, you mean TV commercials aren't like real life and that's something to be mad about? Now, before it sounds like I'm calling protesters crybabies, before it sounds like I'm trivializing what people who are willing to join marches, protest, stand up for that which they believe in. Before it sounds like that, let me tell you, I'm not. In no way, shape, or form am I doing this. And I get it. I guess if you've been on the front lines of a protest, protesting for or against something that you truly believe in, and maybe you've had to suffer, maybe you've been physically beaten, maybe you've had physical harm caused to you in a protest. Maybe you've bled for what you believed in. Does this trivialize your experience? Yes. But guess what? I think when I was 6 years old, I learned that TV was different from reality. My mom said to me, TV's not like real life. The A-team, you can't get shot at and do a million flips in a car and then just crawl out and go, boy, my head's going to be sore tomorrow morning. Violence is real and serious. It's not like what you see on TV. And the reason why going after a Pepsi ad where they miss the mark, where they trivialize something that is a serious issue, is by doing this, by putting this much effort, by putting these many column inches into it, by expending this much energy, fighting against Pepsi, who made a ham-fisted attempt at cashing in on a sense of unity, but at least spent bazillions of advertising dollars on trying to put forward a message of unity and screwed up? Like, that which you believe in, they were trying to piggyback on it to sell soda pop, yes, but they're also forwarding a message in an unfortunate and ham-fisted way that made people more angry than happy, that made people feel more ignored than heard. But the intent was in the right place. So the appropriate response to something like this is like, oh, that's ridiculous. That's stupid. You see what they're doing? Oh, that was cute. All right. Nice try, Pepsi. We're not buying any more of your soda just because Kendall Jenner gave a can to a cop in a fake protest video that you guys did. That is 100% the right reaction to it. All this manufactured outrage, and I despise it. I despise what I refer to as manufactured outrage. All this anger, vitriol, hatred that people want to summon up because they need something to be angry about. Like those girls that were denied access to a flight because they were in leggings. And they were traveling on a companion pass a couple weeks ago. They're traveling on a companion pass at the pleasure of the airline. And when you do that, you're treated as an employee of the company, and there's certain rules, including dress code, and they weren't allowed on. And immediately the internet responded saying, they're body shaming young women. No, they're not. They have a dress code and they're enforcing it. Well, I'm angry about it. I'm going to... Nobody ever climbs down. People are looking for something to be outraged about. People are looking for things to be angry about. People are looking for something to sound off about on Twitter while they're on the freaking toilet. And you know what? Take your pick. You want something to be legitimately angry about that definitely deserves your vitriol, that definitely deserves your voice to be added to a protest against it or for it. There are so many things that you could stand up and be counted for. If you're determined to get on social media and be mad about something, there is a fantastic matter of principle there awaiting. If you feel like you are driven to stand up for something, you don't know what for, and you're looking for something, and that something is a Pepsi commercial, come on. Come on. Did Pepsi make an egregious, ham-fisted error in judgment? Yeah. And they're paying the price for it. But you know what? There are so many things that deserve your righteous indignation. So much more than this. Stop. Think. Assess. Put the freaking phone down. Follow what's in your heart. Not what's trending in Twitter. This is ridiculous.
Real Radio. Real Radio. 104.1.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radio Land. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on.
All right, so here's the thing that people seem to be the maddest about. The image of Kendall Jenner approaching a line of police was compared to a photo that got shared a lot of Aisha Evans, a black woman who stood while being charged by riot police during a protest against police brutality in Baton Rouge, Louisiana last July. I'm looking at the picture now. There's pictures like this throughout history. It's a powerful, powerful image. Does it look similar to the Kendall Jenner thing? No, it doesn't. And this is an image that is as old as time. Or at least as old as the 60s. You know, a flower child walking up to a cop with a gun, or a member of the military police and putting a long stem daisy in the barrel of the revolver that's pointed at her. It's an iconic piece of imagery. And it's an iconic piece of imagery because scenes like this have been repeated in the world of peaceful protest throughout the history of peaceful protests. You have a clear and decisive enemy if you are involved in a fight for equality. There are plenty that would seek to disabuse you of the notion that you deserve equal rights. There are plenty that would love to disabuse you of the notion that you are worthy of everything that everyone else has because of the color of your skin, or because of who you love, or because of the country you were born in. Pepsi's not one of them. It's all just a lot of hot air. And look, if you had a strong emotional reaction, to this Pepsi commercial, then maybe it's not a lot of hot air to you. Maybe it's deliberately and directly insulting to you, and I'm in no way, shape, or form trivializing it. But Pepsi's trying to borrow an image of something from the zeitgeist of popular thinking around the globe at the moment and use it to sell soda pop. They're not the ones going after your human rights. They're trying to cash in on the fact that you want human rights. Is that morally reprehensible? Is that misguided? Sure, absolutely. Why not? But they are not the enemy in this situation. And I feel bad for people who feel that they are, because you are being distracted from the real enemy by, oh gosh, I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist here, but you are being distracted from the identity of the real culprit by the media, by social media, by people that have too much time on their hands and are too quick to judge and don't spend enough time thinking before they open their mouths or grab the phone to make a statement. All right then, Funkhouser. Let's lighten the mood a little bit, shall we?
Come on after that. Gee.
Yeah, come on.
This
Waka
is
waka.
My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair, and certainly not balanced. And now, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhouser. Barry Funkhouser.
Here I am.
Barry Funkhouser.
Oh, no.
Barry Funkhouser.
No more?
Hello.
No.
I should have him do it like 20 times once.
Funkhouser.
What?
Sometimes we talk about this sort of stuff before I go on the air and discuss it. And like, I trust your opinion. I trust your opinion because you know me. You know me as a person that cares about people. You know me as a person that never says anything without love in his heart. You know me as a person that... No.
What are we leading
You know
up
me
to
as a
here?
person
I'm
that
scared.
genuinely is concerned about those around him and the welfare of my fellow human being. Never want to dismiss anyone or anything of what they're thinking, but I genuinely find that going after this Pepsi commercial, sorry, I'm still bent out of shape about it, because it's this thing where it's like you're going after the wrong culprit here. I get it. I get that you have a whole bunch of aggression and it needs to go somewhere, but you're missing the mark if you are going after Pepsi. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're not. Maybe it didn't take that much effort for you to sit on the toilet and plop out a couple of angry tweets about Pepsi and their use of this Kendall Jenner ad. I don't know. Maybe you didn't spend that much effort on it if you're one of the people that are protesting it. But I feel like the idea of equality and unity are too serious. I feel like they are too important, and I feel like there's too much of a deficit in the world and in America of unity and equality. These are things that we need, and I feel as though people are being distracted and they're going after the wrong target and the wrong culprit in this situation, when there is stuff that they could do staring them directly in the face that is so much more on the money. Do you agree? Like, is this all just people looking for a reason to be angry about something because they got some social media time on their hands?
Well, yeah, everybody needs something to be angry about, and this is, it's all of the things. It's commercialism, it's sugar, it's the Kardashians, like everything that you people can hate. it's all there in a well-balanced diet.
I mean, I guess that there's things in this world that are... We have trivial hatred and real hatred. Trivial hatred is like, I hate the Kardashians. I can't stand this TV show. Ugh, sugar. All those things that Funkhouser mentioned. They're trying to dumb us down with their high fructose corn syrup. And this is my last absolute can of delicious slice. Or Mellow Yellow. Or, oh gosh, Mountain Dew. There's those things that you can direct your hatred at. Trivial hatred. And then there are things that genuinely call for your real aggression. This idea that we live in a world where people are still prejudged by the color of their skin or the country that they were born in or by their religious beliefs. That's a problem. Is Pepsi as much of a problem? No. And when you're getting up on a high horse and applying the same amount of anger, vitriol, and righteous indignation to something like soda pop and people trying to sell cans of it versus the real problem of people genuinely not feeling safe because of who they are or who they love, you're trivializing the argument, I think. Is that fair, Funkhouser?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to agree with me. Just because you work for me, you don't have to agree with me.
No, I mean, you know.
Anyways, waka waka, let's do the news.
All right, fine. You get all deep on
Did we
me.
just get real, Funkhouser?
Sheesh.
I think this show got real.
I guess so. And can we make it fake again? Drake is in the news. Drake canceled his concert in Amsterdam for the third time.
You'll never hear fake news on this show. This actually happened. Drake news. Drake news. Drake canceled his concert.
Drake
the least gangster
news.
rapper. The least gangster rapper in all of gangster rap. Drake, the man who came from the bottom. Now he's here. And by the bottom, we mean as a privileged child actor that was brought up on the mean streets of Degrassi. Drake canceled his concert in Amsterdam for the third time. Well, you know what? Fortunately, it's Amsterdam. And they've got something for the pain. Go on.
The trailer for the next Spider-Man is out.
Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Michael Keaton is Vulture. And America is completely ambivalent, I think. I love...
Fine.
Well, no, you know what it is? Okay, this is comic book nerd stuff, and it's going to alienate 85% of the audience. But to the remaining 15 that are Spider-Man fans like me, I will now become a god. Spider-Man movies suffer from the same thing that the Spider-Man comic book does. Spider-Man is the most beloved comic book hero of all time, right up there with Superman and Batman. But I think people like Superman, people are into Batman, people love Spider-Man. People love the character of Peter Parker. People love the idea of a nerdy kind of Charlie Brown type loser that has superpowers. And as much as he's one of the most powerful people on the face of the planet, has the inability to get the rest of his life together. And he's always broke, and he's always being dumped by the girl, and he's always about to be evicted, and his Aunt May is always sick, and just nothing goes right for him. And we relate to that. The inner Charlie Brown that has our own dark cloud over us at all times relates to that so much, and we just clutch the idea of Spider-Man and Peter Parker to our hearts. And that's why, if you're like me, Spider-Man is far and away your most beloved comic book. You grew up reading them, you love Spider-Man, and you love the idea of Spider-Man, but it's gotten so fractured. There are so many storylines with so many different versions of Spider-Man that took place in so many different universes that people are going, what the hell? What did you do to my... I just want to pick up a comic book and read something that I can understand about someone who's definitely Spider-Man, not a clone, not from an alternate universe, I just want to read a Spider-Man story and have it be good. That's all I want. That's all I want. And the comic book suffers from that. And the movies definitely suffer from that. I mean, they had a decent run with, Tobey Maguire playing him, started in the 90s. I liked the first movie.
Why did he stop doing it? I wonder.
He got too old, I think. And also, they've been making Peter Parker progressively younger. Now he's basically 12 years old. And that's weird. But, they've been making him progressively younger, and they borrowed the storyline from the comic books where Spider-Man tries to become an Avenger. It's a great, great storyline because at one point, after Spider-Man has been established for a very long time, he wants to become an Avenger because Peter Parker is this guy that is a photographer, a freelance photographer for a newspaper, and he's also a college student, and his Aunt May is sick, and he needs to make money, and so he wants to join the Avengers because he thinks it's a paid gig. Like, he thinks it's working for the government. He's like, oh man, I could get paid for the superhero stuff, and I could help Aunt May out with her medical bills. It's a great, great storyline when you read it in the original comic books. In this one, Tony Stark, who's been Iron Man for a while, discovers Peter Parker as Spider-Man and tries to guide his way into being a superhero and makes him a suit and all this sort of stuff, and I think comes up with most of his tech. Obviously, we haven't seen it, but that's the implication. And it's just like, no, this is not... And Spider-Man's been rebooted so many times that I think people are just like, what the hell is even going on now? I don't even care. So this Spider-Man movie could be freaking great. But they're trying to slot Spider-Man into this pre-existing storyline with the Avengers, which has been their most successful thing, and this universe. And they're trying to make it like Spider-Man comes after everything else that has happened and slot Spider-Man into a timeline that's already in existence. And the problem with that is Spider-Man's an original, baby. He doesn't deserve to be slotted in and adjusted around the writings and ramblings of current movie makers. No, Spider-Man deserves his own thing. Give him that respect. What the hell, man? What the hell? What the hell? Go on.
Octavia Spencer says dyslexia gave her an edge.
Yeah. Well, I think technically Octavia Spencer said gave dyslexia edge me and, but you get the point. All right. Before the PC police think I am pile driving and having a cheap laugh at the expense of those with dyslexia, guess who has dyslexia?
Do you have it?
Me. Yeah. Yep. I am. I went through, and you know what? Boy.
When did you
numbers.
know you had dyslexia? Was it in like elementary school?
No, it was much later. Much later.
When you had to do your own bills and stuff?
It was after high school that I was, because my mom is a little bit dyslexic.
Because you're a good writer.
Yeah, I am a good writer, but ask me to copy the number off my credit card onto a screen. Like, freaking impossible. I get, like, the numbers just don't, like, and I'll swear blind that they're in a certain order, and then they're just not. It's just, like, words, I'm okay with words, but numbers, and so I sucked at math. I had still do. I've got attention deficit disorder and dyslexia, and went through school with that. And this is why I totally relate to what Octavia Spencer said about dyslexia giving her an edge. Back in those days, ADHD, especially in England, where they're not so lickety-freaking split to give you medication, where the medical system is not based on big pharmaceuticals trying to sell you all kinds of drugs that you don't necessarily need because there's big dollars in it. Back in my day, ADD and dyslexia meant shut up and do your homework. And we'll get into why I believe in what Octavia Spencer said next.
Now, more AD on the radio.
So Octavia Spencer said dyslexia gave her an edge, and I said that technically she said gave dyslexia edge me and already I can feel, well, yeah, but here's the thing. I have dyslexia as well. That's who else is dyslexic. And so that gives me a certain amount of humoristic license, I suppose, because I've made fun of my own dyslexia on a regular basis. And you know what? Octavia Spencer saying that dyslexia gave her an edge, I 100% agree with that. And this is why. Back in my day, well, especially, like I said, growing up in England. Now, growing up in England, the healthcare there is not as much of a business. There's socialized medicine there, meaning they don't want you to come in for a bazillion checkups until you hit a certain age. They don't feel like you need one every year or every 6 months or whatever you're told you need one. 4. When you go to buy medication, I think I remember once I had the flu. I had to pay for some antibiotics, and they cost me £5.50. £5.50. And that's the cost of medication. That's what the stuff costs to make. That's what antibiotics cost, which is what? Around $8-9 depending on the exchange rate. Funkhouser, last time you had to get medication, last time you had to get something
recently,
something simple like an antibiotic. You were really sick recently. Do you remember what you paid for those meds?
Like $80, man, including the health.
Yeah, and that was after health insurance took its chunk out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
$80 for antibiotics. Whereas in England, I was buying antibiotics for £5.50. That's what it cost. Maybe it's a little bit more now.
That's a weight measurement. I don't understand.
£5.50 equals, like I said, about $7-8. So, think of socialized medicine what you will. But one thing that is clear is that when it comes to things like the sale of medication, they're not in it in terms of a for-profit business model anywhere near as much as we are here in the good old US of A. Now, I'm not here to argue for or against the free market when it comes to healthcare. I'm not here to argue for or against socialized medicine. But my point is, when you are a kid and you have something in England like ADHD, it's sort of called shut the hell up, knuckle down, and do your homework. When you got it in America, it's like, oh gosh, we got to pump this kid full of freaking drugs. He definitely needs Ritalin, and he's probably really depressed too. So let's put him on some sort of serotonin reuptake inhibitor, and so you wind up with kids doped to the eyeballs. In some cases, it's necessary. In some cases, I don't know. I think it could be avoided. And the reason I say that is because I struggled. I struggled with ADHD and I struggled with dyslexia my entire life. And, well, my entire time in school. And I remember, I'll never forget when I realized that I actually had something up. I thought maybe I was distracted. I thought the teacher was boring. I thought I had no interest in the class. But I remember one day going, today is the day. I'm going to concentrate. I'm going to focus on what the teacher is saying in my world geography class. I'm going to take copious notes, and I'm going to be a good student the way I'm being told to be a good student, because I'm not a good student, and I have to be a good student because my future is wrapped up in this, and I'm really, really going to do everything I can today to be a good student. I'm there, pen poised over the paper, ready to take notes, textbook open to the appropriate page. And then, I'm not sure how much time elapsed, but the teacher called on me, asked me to read from the book. And I looked at the book, I looked at the teacher, and they're like, well, read. And I was just like, I'm sorry. I don't know what page we're on. And that was me trying my very, very hardest. And that's when I realized, okay, I'm not stupid. I know I'm not stupid. But something something just is not clicking here. I'm really trying, and maybe I can't. I don't feel. And at that point, I'd been in slow kid classes. Sit at the back of the class, learn at your own pace. You're not expected to actually finish your homework. You're slow. We don't really expect all that much of you. I was told I was slow. And I remember feeling like, no, I'm not. I don't feel, I feel intelligent. I don't feel, maybe, am I kidding myself? I don't know. And by the way, that's when music really came in, because that was my only source whatsoever of self-esteem. Music was a big, big deal. I had a natural aptitude for music and playing musical instruments, and that was the only place any kind of self-esteem came from. So I really focused on that, because academics, I was like, and that was part of what made me feel I was worth something. I can play drums. Cool. I can do that better than anybody else at school. I'm worth something. I'm good at something. It takes intelligence to be able to read music. It takes intelligence to understand music. There is a certain amount of math involved in music. There's a certain amount of heart involved in music. There's a certain amount of creativity. I'm okay. I got something. I'm okay at it. But I assumed that I was a slow kid. Yet in the back of my mind, I felt like I was intelligent. So I went to the library and basically looked up my symptoms. And I was like, that's me. That's me. I have this thing, this inability to pay attention. And I just kind of knew I was dyslexic because my mom said she was dyslexic, and I knew I got numbers jumbled. I just thought I was like really bad at math, and I still am pretty bad at math. But I didn't know there was anything that could be done to combat dyslexia. Didn't know what was available. And I just assumed, I didn't even bring it to my teacher's attention or my mom's attention. Only found out for certain that I definitely had attention deficit disorder and dyslexia later on in life after I was out of school. I was like, I've always thought I had this. Do I? My shrink was like, yep. And I remember the optician, the eye doctor, like went through some, like, yeah, totally dyslexic. We can put that in your prescription if you like. I was like, I've kind of gotten through life. Anyways, so go through life with these things. Realize this, though. Realize when I couldn't concentrate in class that I had this problem, that I had a genuine problem. Learning, retaining, paying attention, staying focused. And I went, okay, what is going to work for me? I have to start passing tests or I'm going to get left behind. And I discovered a workaround for my brain. And maybe you have struggled with something similar to this. Maybe you have a kid that's struggling with something similar to this. This is important, what I'm going to share with you next.
Your destination for stimulation. KPRC, more stimulating talk radio.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is. The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
So there I was, a kid that was slow. They didn't use the word learning disabled, at least to my face, but I was in the slow kid class. I was in that section of the classroom along with the other kids that took an inordinately long amount of time to learn their multiplication tables. I was told I was slow. I was told that I didn't actually have to finish my homework. People expected less of me, but that was okay. I was still a special flower of an individual human being. But I didn't feel real good about it. I felt in my heart that I wasn't stupid. I didn't necessarily think I was a freaking genius or anything, but I didn't feel stupid. I didn't feel like I needed to be in a slow class. And I remember I'm going to knuckle down. I'm going to pay attention. And my efforts to pay attention just fell flat, like I said earlier. Teacher would call on me to read from the book, and I'd have to be like, I don't even know what page we're on. Get a little older, get into the 9th grade, people just assume you're high out of your mind when you say things like that. And so I was like, this is no good. This is not going to work for me. I go to the library. I look at my symptoms. I go, bazinga, there I am. Attention deficit disorder. I can't concentrate the way other people concentrate. Didn't ask for drugs because I didn't know that was available. I just found out what the hell it was. And then I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I was like, I gotta start passing these tests. I do okay on this written stuff because I can write. But I got to be able to pass a test. And up to that point, I couldn't. So I started showing up for extra help. Just like 35, 40 minutes of one-on-one, which I was lucky enough that most of my teachers offered. Hey, we have a test tomorrow. If you're having problems with any of these concepts, if you need extra help, you can come in at 3 and we'll go over it again. And I found that weeks leading up to the test, the subject matter I was going to be tested on, I wouldn't retain a freaking thing. But in the 45 minutes of staring directly at this teacher and this teacher staring directly at me while I was sitting there at the front of the class, having my questions answered, I was able to retain. And my mind was like a steel trap. I had all that stuff and I had it down. All of a sudden it became like a song that I learned. And the next morning when I came in to take that test, no problem. Did I retain it for all that much longer afterwards? No, I didn't. But I went from being this kid that was told he was slow that there was never going to be all that much expected of him. Don't expect great things from this kid. It's maybe I don't know what he's going to do with himself. We'll find something. Was basically the vibe that I got from the time that I was 8 years old. And when I figured out what the hell I had, it made me go get a workaround for my brain. And it put me very much in touch with how I was going to get from point A to point B when it came to learning and taking tests and making my way in the world. And so I went from being this kid that was regarded as a slow kid to halfway through the 9th grade when I figured it out, to the time when I bailed on school to go be in a rock band. I was on the headmaster's list. Straight A's. No problem. And I say this for a couple reasons. One, because Octavia Spencer said dyslexia gave her an edge, and I totally believe that. And I see how it happened because I feel as though my dyslexia gave me an edge as well. It made me push a little bit harder to try and get how my brain worked. And once I tapped into that, it was, my classmates were like, I didn't know you were smart. Gosh, you make it look so easy. And you know what it was? It went from being hideously difficult to a really easy thing for me to get straight A's in school, because my dyslexia, my inability to learn and read and think the way that other people could, made me focus on what I could do. Everything I wasn't made me everything I was. And that's a very important lesson, especially if you've struggled with similar things, especially if you've got a kid that's struggling with similar things. I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you what medicine your kid should or should not be on. But I can tell you there is tremendous hope where it feels like there is none with this stuff. And that's really important to bear in mind. All right, Funkhouser, let's do a little bit more news. What else is going on in the world?
Okay. Now that we've learned all of that, Black China went off hard on Tyga on Snapchat for not paying child support.
Black China? What? That's
she was in it for the baby only.
So Black China? Wait, is Black China Tyga's ex or no? Wait, Tyga.
You know, every time she comes up, my head hurts.
I don't know.
I don't get the connection.
She seems to have inserted herself in the middle of the Kardashian clan, and I don't know. Does she have a baby with Tyga?
I think so.
Because she's married to that Rob Kardashian dude, and I think Tyga dates one of the Jenner sisters or something like that. That's an awkward situation. If I've got that right, if your in-law has a baby with, hold on. This is complicated. If your in-law has a baby with your boyfriend, that's tough. But Black China went off on Tyga on Snapchat, the most valid of all social platforms, if you have something important to say about the way the world works, for not paying child support. Yeah, we totally know how you feel, said single moms everywhere who don't live in $30 million mansions. Go on.
Madonna's new boyfriend is 33 years younger than she is. 33.
Right. Which officially makes him the most age-appropriate guy Madonna has ever dated. The gap
You
of
leave her
age,
alone.
The gap of age between Madonna's... The age gap. 33 years. If the age gap was a guy, that would be too old for Madonna to date. 33. I'm after some fresh meat.
So there's no chance of me her
Zephyr in the
then, huh?
sky, you look real young. I'm gonna have some of that. Probably the least well-known Madonna song ever, and that's the one that I choose to lampoon.
Oh gosh, the Madonna and the cowboy hat. Thanks a lot for that image. That's not what I'm thinking of constantly.
What was that song? The one, oh, you know what I loved? Do you remember that song had, the video for that had Ali G? Mm-hmm. You know, what's his name? What's his real name? What's Ali G's real name?
Oh, it's not Sasha, is it? Sasha Baron Cohen?
Yeah, Sasha Baron Cohen was Ali G. And so there was a famous soccer player back in the day called Diego Maradona. And and he was famous for like they caught it in replay, but by then it was too late. He used his hand in soccer to win like this really important game. I think it was a World Cup game, and so like Diego Maradona was like this really famous soccer player. But like my favorite part of that whole, and you'll see how this is connected in a second. Please stay with me on this one. My favorite part of that video, where like it was the cowboy song. No, I'm confused. This was music makes the people come together. That one. Ali G's her limo driver. Let's stay with me. Get that. I swear I have a point. Ali G's her limo driver, and the best part of that video is where he refers to Madonna's boobs, and he calls her Maradona, and he says, and I don't know if this means anything to Americans, but like it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard, where Madonna gets into his limousine. He's like, "Oi, Maradona, your Babylons look much less big than they do on the telly, but I still definitely would." Do you know what that means?
I don't. No.
It means, hey, Madonna, your rack is smaller than it looks like it is on TV, but I still would have sex with you. Oi, Maradona, your Babylons look much less big than they do on the telly, but I still definitely would. Anyways, that's enough of that.
MC Hammer's in the news. He turns 55 today.
What?
He's too legit to quit.
Speaking of 80s and 90s pop stars and age, Madonna is dating someone who's 33 years younger than she is, while MC Hammer is now 55. Know what that means? That means when MC Hammer says you can't touch this, what he's referring to is the television remote while Wheel of Fortune is on. Go on.
I thought he was talking about his benefits, his life insurance.
Right.
The owner of the Moonlight Bunny Ranch plans to open a Raiders-themed brothel near Las Vegas and call it the Pirate Booty.
Yeah, we were talking about this. Dennis Hoff, that guy, who you know him, right?
Yeah,
like, who's been
man.
on shows. Yeah, Dennis Hoff, who is what's the Cat House? Is that
I know
the
him for
HBO show?
undisclosed reasons.
I bet you do. This is one of those Funkhouser stories that needs to be told, but probably won't be told today. Wait a second. How do you know Dennis Hoff? Like, these reasons that are undisclosed.
We can't do it in a couple of minutes. Let's just say that we've done a lot of business together.
Oh my gosh, really?
Promotional business together.
So radio promotional. Have you ever engaged the services of a prostitute, Funkhouser?
Negatron, but I know people who have.
Yeah, I know people who have and feel perfectly okay about it. It's very, very strange to me. It's like the George Costanza thing. Like I feel
that's
weird.
like
never,
the ultimate of.
I could never pay for it when there's a chance if I really apply myself I could get it for free. But yeah, Dennis Hoff, owner of the Moonlight Bunny Ranch, is opening up this Raiders-themed brothel in Las Vegas. It's called Pirate Booty. We discussed it the other day on the show. Raiders players are going to get discounts in a VIP area, as will staff members for the Raiders. And yeah, feel free to insert your own highly obvious and highly inappropriate piece of humor about the Raiders and sucking wherever you feel it's appropriate. Go on.
NBC will air the 2018 Olympics from South Korea live.
Live?
Well,
wow. Live from South Korea. Hold on, I'm doing like the time zone math. Wow. Hands up if you like me. Yeah, hands up if you like me can... Oh, man, I can't wait to not watch curling at 4 a.m. Go on.
I can't wait to watch curling at 4 a.m. Come on, that's way better than what's on usually. The Chop Mixer Pro.
Oh, Slap Chop.
Yes.
Slap Chop. Yeah. Slap Chop guy isn't the one that he...
No, we can't be doing this all day, so pay attention. The next 20 callers are going to get...
Didn't the Slap Chop guy... He got into a fight with a prostitute.
I think you're thinking about the
ShamWow guy.
Yeah, ShamWow.
I'm pretty sure ShamWow guy is Slap Chop guy.
Same
I
guy?
think they're the same guy, and I think he got into an altercation with a prostitute where the prostitute was drunk or high or something and bit his lip like really hard, and because she bit his lip and wouldn't let go, he punched her in the face or something. It was a whole big I guess all that practice with a slap chop prepared him for hooker self-defense, but like, oh my gosh, it was an ugly situation. By the way, without me going back and checking these stories, this is all conjecture. Slap chop dude or ShamWow guy, if this wasn't you, my apologies. Don't sue us. What else is happening?
We're covered in the fine print. It's okay. You don't have to say it.
Okay. All right. Good.
Hillary Clinton says she'll never stop speaking out.
Yeah. Hillary Clinton is back up in the game. She's emerged. She's giving speeches again. Did you see her? Yeah. A lot of people are saying it's very good news, and those people are called members of the pantsuit industry. Did you see her the other day when she appeared? She
leather
was wearing
jacket,
this
yeah.
leather jacket. Yeah. It looked like sort of a female political Johnny Cash. It's very unusual. Hey, thank you for hanging. Thank you for being a part of our radio family. We'll be back soon. We will do this all over again. Say goodbye, Funkhouser.
Goodbye, Funkhouser.
You took the comedic bait.